Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great because finally I'm back after what has it been, a week and a half? I am so sorry that I disappeared out of nowhere for a while. I got the flu last Wednesday and I just haven't had time to record anything since. But luckily we're here, I finally have a bit of free time, and with the power of a visit to the doctor's office and some Tamiflu, I am all better. And thank God, because there's been quite a bit of controversy over the last few days that I'm sure you're all very well aware of by now. Basically, there's this rumor going around right now that Microsoft could be putting games like Sea of Thieves and Starfield on PlayStation. Now, note the word there, rumor. This is not confirmed yet. Phil Spencer said we're going to be getting some business talk next week about the future of Xbox. So when that happens, we'll see what's actually going on. But until then, just remember that none of this is confirmed yet, which honestly makes the controversy and outrage over this even more hilarious. You've got people calling this an idiotic decision. People are threatening they're gonna leave Xbox. Oh, this is gonna kill the Xbox console. Which, if you've been watching Salt content for a while, then you would know that this is the same exact reaction the ponies have whenever one of their games comes to PC. And personally, I'll be glad if this goes through. I've said it for the longest time. In an ideal world, every game would be on every platform. Xbox first-party games going to PlayStation would be a step in that direction. And you know what? I play Sea of Thieves, so I wouldn't mind having more players online. But whatever, you guys aren't here to listen to me talk about how great this is. You guys are here to see salty man-children break down on Twitter about this. So yeah, without further ado, why don't we go ahead and get right into that. So I think pretty much all of these tweets that I have here are coming from replies to Phil Spencer's tweet saying that, oh, next week we're going to talk about the future of Xbox. Also, interestingly, a good number of the people who made these tweets actually have the blue check mark.
Coincidence? I think not!
But whatever, either way, let's go ahead and get into this. It's such a dumb decision. I always used to get both consoles, but if they go multi-platform, I'll never buy an Xbox console again, honestly. I love how this tweet literally describes why this is a good thing, but at the same time starts off by saying it's such a dumb decision. Because think about it, if all the Xbox games do come to PlayStation, that's one less thing you have to buy. That's $300 to $500 you get to save. Or if you still want to buy an Xbox, then you can, and you can still play the games there. It's really funny. Sometimes people will get so caught up in this console war stuff and oh, every console needs exclusives. If no consoles had exclusives, they would die. That when they actually make the argument right here, they actually end up arguing why it's a good thing. Plus, we're talking about all of this. I haven't even mentioned the fact that Xbox has already been multi-platform for years. You already didn't need an Xbox. You could just get a PC. Really, the most valid argument for this whole situation I've heard is that, oh, well, if Xbox goes completely third party, then they're gonna stop doing consoles at some point, and then Sony isn't gonna have competition. Basically, people are concerned they're gonna end up going the way that Sega did, which that is a much more fair concern. Although I'll say, when it comes to competition, Xbox was never really competing with PlayStation, especially over these last few years. It's been pretty obvious that PlayStation has been dominating the console market, and Xbox has kind of been doing their own thing with Game Pass and PC day-and-date releases and all that stuff. I've said it a million times, but Xbox is trying to be a whole ecosystem, not just a console. Anyway, on to the next tweet. If Halo and Forza come to PlayStation and other Xbox games, what is the point to have Xbox then? Well, this is a bit of a jump, I would say. The original rumor was just Starfield as far as I know, right? And then maybe Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush were in there. But now we're saying Halo and Forza?
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
But even if those games do come to PlayStation, again, I say the more the merrier. Especially with Halo, Infinite could definitely use some bigger numbers right now. That's not to say it's not doing well, but even with all the fixes recently, it still hasn't gotten back up to its peak. And plus, let's just say that every single Xbox game did go to PlayStation. You still have benefits on Xbox that are not on PlayStation. Obviously, Game Pass is the biggest one. Then you have the backwards compatibility, you have quick resume. Something that I usually forget to bring up is actually the controller. There would still be reasons to own an Xbox. I guess this would be a time to explain why I want every game on every platform and what I think the companies could do instead of competing via forcing you to buy the console for games. Think about it. Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, they are all hardware manufacturers. Yes, they make games as well, but their big thing is the consoles. If they put their games on all the other platforms, not only would they make more money because obviously obviously now more people can buy the games. But now they would actually have to compete from a hardware standpoint instead of just forcing you to buy a console for exclusives. And they would still have to make good games because obviously their games are going to be going against other games on the market. And they're not going to sell if they're not good. Like, just imagine a world where exclusives weren't an issue and then Nintendo actually had to make a somewhat powerful piece of hardware to make it a compelling purchase instead of locking their games to it and making them only run at like 30 FPS. Looking at you, Zelda. Either way, I think that's enough of that tangent. Let's go ahead and get into the next tweet. Microsoft are going multi-platform. Lamau, I'm selling my Series X then. This is an absolute joke and ridiculous. Shame on Microsoft. Yes, guys, that's right. Shame on Microsoft. How could they possibly want to make more money off of another user base?
Shame. 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 Shame.
Now, if they announced they were leaving the console space, which, who knows, we'll have to see next week again, but if they announced that, then this reaction would be more warranted. But remember how I said earlier that most of these were coming from replies to Phil Spencer's tweet? Yeah, no, this one wasn't. In case that wasn't obvious, this was responding to a tweet I just posted about the rumor. But imagine seeing a rumor that a game might come to another platform, and then immediately declaring, that's it, I'm done, shame on them, I'm selling my console. Like, that's a bit of an overreaction. If you already have Starfield, you can still play it on your Xbox. This is what I don't get. A lot of these guys, every time it's announced, oh, this game's going to this platform, they act like the game is being taken away from their platform. It's not. It's just being added to another one. You can still play it on the device you bought it on. Like I said, there's some valid reactions to this and valid concerns, but this is not one of them. Either way, let's get into the next tweet. Bro, Phil Spencer sold everyone on $500 timed exclusivity machines.
No shit.
Yeah, in case you hadn't noticed, games are pretty much, at least nowadays, either timed exclusive or just not exclusive at all. In Xbox's case, like I said before, the games haven't even been exclusive for years. I don't know why people are all of a sudden like, oh my god, Xbox has no exclusives. It's been like this for years. The games have been coming to PC day and date since what, 2017? And need I bring up what PlayStation's been doing? Releasing their games on console and then like a year or two later releasing them on PC, and that window's getting even shorter. But again, Xbox games already go to PC day and date, and they're not like secretive about that. When you buy an Xbox, you should know your games are not exclusive to just that platform. They will be on PC as well. And like I said earlier, even if this does end up being true, like let's say the games do go to PlayStation, there's still benefits to Xbox that you can't have on PlayStation. Obviously, Game Pass is the biggest one, like I already said. But at least these have just been bad takes up to this point. Now we're gonna get into some actual just flat out lies. Just smashed my 70-inch 4K TV in front of 30 guests because Xbox are losing their exclusives to PS5. My wife took our crying kids and said they're spending the night at a hotel. Microsoft have ruined my life and my family. I can't do this any longer. Goodbye. Oh god, it's like that phrase that's been more and more commonly used recently. Bait used to be believable. That is very obviously not a 70-inch TV. Hell, that's not even a TV. That looks like a monitor. You know what? Let me do something real quick. I have an Xbox controller right here. Let me like put it up to my monitor because you can see it in the picture for reference. Let me put it, yeah, just based on eyeballing it in real life, that looks like a 27-inch monitor. That is most certainly not a 70-inch 4K TV. And if this story was true, you know, I'm no psychologist or anything, but I would definitely go get therapy. In fact, this tweet was so idiotic that even King Thrash got involved and replied saying that's either a small 70-inch TV or a giant Xbox controller. I like to imagine it's like a 2-foot Xbox controller. I think that's pretty funny. Just, I imagine playing with a controller that's wider than my keyboard, and it's just like, oh, that would just be terrible. Alrighty, continuing on. You knew he was gonna show up at some point. Here he is. I believe in and support the Xbox brand. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Please don't devalue the Xbox console by making everything multi-platform. Who's gonna tell him that Xbox games were already multi-platform? And please nobody try to do the Reforge argument of, oh, PC doesn't count as multi-platform. PC is a platform. platform, Xbox games are on Xbox and PC. That is multiple platforms. Therefore, the games are multi-platform. If you have a problem with that, then, you know, Big Bill Hell, please take it away.
Shove it up your ugly ass! You heard us right. Shove it up your ugly ass!
Like these guys are talking about, oh, there's no reason to own an Xbox. There are still reasons to own them that go beyond just forcing you to buy a console for the games. But I'm not going to repeat myself because that would get annoying. So let's get into the next tweet, shall we? Going multi-platform will not help you if your game is mid. It just means that it's mid on all platforms. Sure, it will sell more, but you won't even maximize your potential. Okay, I feel like I need to say this first. Obviously, yes, if you have a bad game like Redfall, and then you put it on another platform, that does not make it a good game. It is just a bad game on more platforms. But to say you will not maximize your potential by putting the games on other platforms, that is a lie. When we're talking sales, maximizing your potential can only be achieved when the game is on as many platforms as possible. So I don't get what this argument is that, oh, you can't maximize potential even if you put your games on other platforms. That is literally the reason you put games on other platforms, is to get more sales. Like, let's say for example that Starfield was exclusive to Xbox. Truly, it wasn't on PC at all. Do you know how many sales they would miss out on? Steam revealed the numbers a few weeks ago, and Starfield was in the top 10 best-selling games on Steam last year. It made like over $200 million on that platform alone. Now, a counter argument would be, well, if it was exclusive to Xbox, those people would have bought Xboxes. Not necessarily, only some of them would have. Not everybody is gonna drop $300 to $500 just to play a game. Especially on PC, we are very complacent not getting consoles and just waiting for the games to come here. There are plenty of people, including myself, who will never buy a console, and we're more than happy to just wait for the games to come to PC. And if the games never do end up getting a PC release date, well, then we'll take matters into our own hands. Moral of the story, if you want to maximize sales potential, you have to put your games on as many platforms as possible. And don't worry, we're not done just yet. I know you guys were hoping for at least a little bit of pony salt. So I've got some here right at the end. The great console war is over. PlayStation is the king. All hail the king. Of course it's Unleashed. You know, I don't think I can really think of anything more cringe than calling one console the king and demanding that people hail the king. Because obviously, based on my channel name, I am the king. No, I'm kidding. But don't be fooled, guys. Just because the bots, drones, and ponies are all claiming the war is over, that doesn't mean it is over. We'll still have salt for many years to come because these guys cannot keep their mouths shut about anything. Even if Xbox did go full third party and stop making consoles, I guarantee they would still be talking about it. And as that salt is produced, I will be harvesting and covering it. So yeah, with all that being said, that's gonna do it for this video. If you would like to come on this salt-filled journey with me throughout the years, be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.